Today we're discussing TrustSwap. We'll be going through everything from their Launchpad decentralized application to the minimum amount you need for an allocation to different IDOs on their platform, as well as things like the actual swap token and some new things coming with the roadmap. Very, very interesting things going on here where you can actually now stake NFTs. Very, very strange. But this is kind of where it all began. This is a continuation in our Launchpad ecosystem map series. Basically, we're going through all the different blockchains. We're currently on Ethereum. Lastly, we have Binance. But then we've talked about everything from Solana, all the different launchpads on that blockchain, Cardano, Ethereum Layer 2 with Polygon, Avalanche, pretty much everything. The link for the whole entire series is down below in the description. You can go ahead and check that out, which I highly recommend. Basically, the whole points here is to lay out all the different opportunities because some people, they're better optimized for a bit more robust launchpads like TrustSwap and PokerStarter, but you have to keep in mind these require a bit more upfront capital to actually gain an allocation to this, especially if you don't want a lottery allocation. And then there's also other projects where, hey, you can literally potentially gain access to an IDO with $100, right? So there's lots of opportunities out there. That's, again, the whole point of this series. But just for a quick little overview of what TrustSwap is all about. So essentially, this is a launchpad like, again, everything else in the series. This pretty straightforward one. They have some interesting features here. So Swappable is their NFT marketplace with peer-to-peer ERC20 escrow services. That is coming soon. That's part of their new updates with their roadmap. They also have staking. So this is essentially how you gain access to a launchpad is by staking the token, essentially having some commitment there. Typically with some of these, you also have to fill out kind of like a form, right? So you do have to do some KYC depending on the launchpad. With TrustSwap and PokerStarter, this is the case. So some countries like the US, if that's your only residency, your only passport, you're going to run into some issues. Sorry about that. But besides that, just to go over some other interesting things, you can actually create your own tokens with plugin features, pre-audited, no coding, zero fees. You also have smart locks, so team vesting locks, token locks and liquidity, smart swaps, trustless over-the-counter trades, peer-to-peer trades, and escrow deals, and then their actual launchpad. So early access to the best new crypto and DeFi tokens in this space. Pretty awesome there. They've been featured in these media things. This video, it's meh, in my opinion. It doesn't really do the best job. But this is really the area where I think they do a great job of describing what their project is all about. So I'm going to read through this. Again, I don't want to bore you guys too much. That's why I have timestamps throughout this video. So if you're interested in, hey, I just want to learn about staking, I'll have the timestamp for that. But if you have any questions, any comments throughout this video or any of my videos, you can either let me know down below in the comment section, or you can join the Telegram group, which I kind of recommend because there's this problem with YouTube where they randomly delete certain comments, even if they're not, there's a lot of people that spam and scam in this industry in the comment section, but hey, they don't get rid of those. They get rid of like my responses to other people's thoughtful questions. So that's why in the Telegram group, nothing gets deleted, nothing gets censored or anything like that. So unless you're trying to scam in there, then we have some moderators that'll probably delete you. So anyways, moving on here. So in traditional finance, venture capital firms get priority access to early stage startups. Because of this exclusivity, the general public gets stuck buying in later at higher prices, creating an unfair situation. With TrustSwap, you become the venture capitalist and gain priority access to early stage crypto startups. By staking the actual swap token, you get guaranteed access. So this is something always very important to break down, is a lottery allocation versus guaranteed allocation. I like to use the example with CardStarter. The very, very first tier, which I think is like singles or something like that. They have it broken up into like playing cards. So they have the face cards, they have like 9s and 10s, they have triples, deuces, whatever. But basically the minimum is like $2,000 to get in, and it's like 10% lottery allocation. So I personally think that's a little bit not that compelling, right? When you contrast all these other ones where you can actually get a guaranteed allocation. So, with CardStarter, and that if you're in that tier and you're staking that like $2,000 worth of cards token, now the price is obviously volatile, so these things change. This is just an example, but 1 out of 10 times you get access, right? And it's like, hey, what if you don't even actually want that on Launchpad? So these are things to take into account. As I talked about, guaranteed allocation, easy launch process, 12-hour know your customer window, multiplier for long-term stakers was pretty awesome, and no gas wars. This already happened, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so I don't know why this says upcoming launches, because from what I understand, the buying.com launchpad already occurred. I do think this is quite interesting. If you guys want to see a deep dive video into buying.com, I might actually do one, just because it's kind of interesting when you combine like this whole supply chain tracking. There's projects like Origin Trail that focuses on that with very, very fast delivery, and kind of almost replacing Amazon in a way. So interesting. Obviously, they're not going to replace Amazon overnight, but you can see some of their other launches here in the past. Interesting. Securitants, Defund, more DeFi. Yeah. So I did it, do like some of those. This is their SmartLock feature, but let's move on here to their actual staking application. You can see what is required to actual reach the minimum allocation. Well, it's 4,000 swap tokens, and swap is right around, I think, 60 cents. Yeah, 65 cents currently. So not that bad in my opinion. It was a lot more expensive, if you're buying up here when it was closer to that $5 level or $4.8 level. Now it's an interesting opportunity, in my opinion, just to potentially get in on this token. Obviously do your own research. I have a video for that, link down below every single video that I do. But it's interesting in my opinion. Even if you're not planning on participating in these launches or these IDOs, just by holding the token, essentially you have long-term exposure to this thing where it's like anyone who wants to go through this tunnel, go through this funnel, the ticket to get through is the token, right? So you're kind of in a way, you can kind of ride the upside of, hey, more and more people are going to want to access private sales in the future and down the road. So by having access to this token, you kind of get a piece of that pie. That's kind of the way that I look at it. Obviously, you can make up your own mind as far as that goes. But you can see this is kind of what their decentralized application looks like. You just connect your wallet. Very, very simple. I mean, I can do a tutorial if you guys want, but these things are super, super simple. I think you should really figure them out yourself. Anything that says tutorial is kind of like holding your hand. And in this space, you got to take your own responsibility. So if you guys want that, you can let me know. But most likely, I mean, just figure it out on your own, to be quite honest with you, to be blunt. You can literally connect your wallet. Very, very simple. Like I said, it's like, 4,000 swap to reach that 1x multiplier bonus. And then obviously the more you stake, the higher the bonus. So in Q3, they have crypto subscriptions. You have staking as NFTs, which is very, very interesting. Maybe when they fully roll that out, it said it's coming soon, but I'm very curious on how that will work. Smart launch support for Cardano and Polkadot. That is pretty awesome. So focusing on more interoperability, cross-chain features. I really love that. In Q4, they have the TrustSwap Decentralized Autonomous Organization. That should be interesting. We recently saw the first legally recognized DAO in Wyoming. A couple weeks ago, I talked about it on the daily series. I do daily DeFi. I'm talking about like the news in the decentralized finance space. Then also another way to research, in my opinion, a project kind of to stay up to date with more long form things, not just, obviously you can follow them on Twitter for short term things at TrustSwap. You can also follow us at investglobal_IO. These things are all pretty great in my opinion. We've been talking a lot about this whole Pulse chain thing going on currently. Quite interesting tracking that, but I would recommend following them to stay up to date. Okay, like, what are the new launches they're doing? What if there's a bug happens or whatever happens, typically the team's on top of it. So when it comes to their Medium article, they're talking about this buying.com token, the Algorand opt-in guide right here. You have this TrustSwap and Cream Finance. I do like Cream Finance. There's a little bit of a problem with all of these tokens that are like focusing on, it's very important to separate the quality projects, not quality projects. This is a more longer conversation, but there are so many tokens that were popping up that were like food-based tokens. I would just say be very careful with these things. But I think Cream Finance is actually a pretty good one because Yield app. So essentially this is the TrustSwap and Cream Finance kickoff yield farming program for the Yield app token holders. I've talked about all three of these tokens in the past. I do like all of them, more long-term perspective. Now, very, very low market cap for each of them. Keep these things in mind. But I do kind of like what they're building there. Let's see some manual how to participate in the buying.com launchpad. This is why I talk about Medium, guys, because Medium, you can really find all the things that you're looking for. Besides that, I mean, there's not too much else to say. With TrustSwap, we could potentially look a little bit more at the SmartLock process. So, SmartLock is a decentralized application that allows blockchain projects to lock their ERC20 tokens in liquidity provider tokens in a non-custodial time-release smart contract vault. Multi-million-dollar crypto projects are emerging every single day. Keeping their digital assets safe is crucial for both the teams and their community. So I do like this. Lock liquidity, team token investing, public-facing profile. You can see the use cases here, quite interesting as far as that goes. This is something you have to contrast with, again, like a legacy finance system. You have kind of this lockup with things like escrow, right? Like, the money's in escrow, or the money's with the middleman. In this case, you remove the human error, you remove kind of this counterparty risk. You have a smart contract that's kind of holding these tokens. If, this happens, then it executes. If this doesn't happen, then it executes. All of this is kind of done programmatically. Everyone can see it, transparent and open source. The whole point of this space, again, is not having to trust, but to actually verify these things. Lastly, here with the swap token, Rank 350 on about 38,000 watch lists. I think this should be, I mean, long term, I think this could be over $1 billion project. So take that as you will. But short term, hey, it could go down to $25 million market cap, right? So keep that in mind as well. 65 cents currently up about 5% at the time of recording this. Volume is tiny, tiny, tiny. We've retraced back down from those kind of peak levels there. We did kind of a bit of a plateau there, closer to that $4.8 level. You see we got rejected kind of 3 times there if we we're looking at this a little bit more technically. And then we've kind of pushed back down here to 62 cents. We do have a bit of a floor. Sorry, wow. Right around 21 cents. So that's basically all for today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, like, subscribe, button all. Again, let me know in the comments if you have any questions, anything like that. Besides that, you can, again, follow us on Twitter. Everything we talk about in this video will be linked down below in the description. So again, like, subscribe, button all, invest global, and until next time.